centuries before the Egyptian pyramids were mapped with satellites, long before Viking explorers touched North America. A forgotten civilization in what is now the American Midwest built massive geometric earthworks so precise, so astronomically aligned, that modern archaeologists still argue over how they engineered them without metal tools, beasts of burden, or written plans. Some structures are so large, you can only understand their shapes from the sky. Yet the people who built them? They vanished. Quietly. Completely. Before we dive in, hit that like button, drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from, and subscribe if you love stories that rewrite what we think we know about history. Because today, we uncover the lost builders of America's giant earthworks, the mysterious Hopewell Civilization. Who were the Hopewell? Imagine North America around 100 BCE. No cities. No kingdoms. No iron smelting. Yet across the river valleys of Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, and beyond, a cultural network emerges, not an empire, but a shared way of life so connected that its artifacts are found from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico. Archaeologists call them the Hopewell tradition, though Hopewell is simply the name of the European farmer whose land the artifacts were first discovered on. The people themselves? We don't know what they called themselves. We don't know their language. We don't know their leaders, their myths, or their heroes. But what they left behind tells a story louder than any written chronicle. Massive earthworks. The Hopewell built geometric monuments stretching over dozens, sometimes hundreds of acres. Perfect circles. Precise squares. Octagons aligned to lunar cycles. Serpent-shaped mounds winding longer than 3 football fields. Some walls were 12 feet high, enclosing areas that could fit several Roman colosseums inside. And remember, they did this without metal tools, without wheels, and without animals pulling the weight. Every basket of soil, millions of them, was carried by hand. They were master traders. Hopewell goods include copper from the Great Lakes, mica from the Appalachians, marine shells from the Gulf, obsidian from the Rocky Mountains, grizzly bear teeth, meteoric iron. This was not a small local group. This was a civilization connected through trade, ceremony, and astronomy. How a loose network became a continental culture. Let's rewind. Around 200 BCE, small woodland communities start growing more complex. They cultivate crops like goosefoot and sunflower, plants native to North America. Population increases. Leaders, likely spiritual ones, begin coordinating large ceremonial gatherings. And those gatherings needed a place. Earthworks as ceremonial hubs. Unlike later Mississippian cultures who built cities, the Hopewell didn't urbanize. Instead, they organized around monumental ceremonial centers. Think of them as spiritual complexes, trade events, massive ritual gatherings, pilgrimage destinations. People might live miles away, then travel during certain seasons to these sacred enclosures. The engineering mystery. Hopewell earthworks display a level of planning that seems impossibly advanced for the tools available. A 1,054-foot diameter circle almost perfectly round. A square where every corner angle is 90 degrees, despite no written math. The Great Octagon earthwork aligns with the 18.6-year lunar standstill cycle, something even modern astronomers rarely observe. These aren't random shapes. They are observatories, calendars, maps, and ritual theaters. The people. Hopewell society likely wasn't a kingdom with a single ruler. Instead, it was decentralized, cooperative, led by ritual specialists, guided by shared beliefs. Their power wasn't military. It was spiritual and cultural, art and cosmos. Hopewell art shows an obsession with birds of prey, serpents, celestial cycles, human-animal hybrid figures, the three-layered world, sky, earth, underworld. In short, they saw themselves as part of a cosmic drama, and they built their monuments to reflect that drama on the landscape. When the Hopewell ruled the rivers, between 100 BCE and 400 CE, the Hopewell reached their height, a continent-wide network. Artifacts from as far as Wyoming and Florida appear in Ohio burial mounds. This suggests diplomatic alliances, wide-scale trade, shared ceremonial rites, interconnected beliefs about life and death. Hopewell earthworks show standardized designs, meaning groups across the region followed a unified architectural language. Imagine you lived 2,000 years ago. You could travel 500 miles, and the ceremonial sites would still feel familiar. That's cultural power. The burial mounds. Hopewell burials are incredibly elaborate. Bodies laid on carefully prepared clay floors. Jewelry crafted from rare materials. Stone pipes carved into perfect animal effigies. Copper breastplates shaped like wings. Sculptures so detailed we can identify species of birds. Some burials include multiple individuals, arranged in patterns that had spiritual or cosmological meaning. These were not random graves. They were portals between worlds. The Great Octagon. One of their most stunning achievements is the Great Octagon Earthwork in Newark, Ohio, a structure so precisely aligned with the lunar cycle that NASA researchers have studied it. The octagon and connected circle operate like a giant lunar observatory, capable of predicting the moon's extreme rising points, which repeat only once every 18.6 years. This means the builders understood long-term astronomical cycles. They tracked the moon for generations. They intentionally encoded this knowledge into Earth itself. It's one of the greatest feats of ancient astronomy anywhere in the world. What were the Hopewell really doing? Here is where the story shifts. Because the deeper archaeologists dig into Hopewell culture, the stranger the picture becomes. The astronomical puzzle. Why did they align so many structures with the moon's major standstill? The solstices? Complex azimuth angles that require multi-year observation? These alignments are intentional, not accidents. But did the Hopewell use them to track eclipse cycles? Time agricultural ceremonies? Map spiritual pathways between earthly and celestial realms? Or something else entirely? No one knows. And the Hopewell left no written records to clarify it. The purpose of the geometry. Some earthworks are so perfect that modern surveyors with GPS equipment confirm near flawless symmetry. But here's the kicker. Many of these shapes are far too large to be appreciated from ground level. So who were they building them for? The sky? The spirits? Future generations? Or simply for the experience of communal ritual? The idea that a prehistoric culture shaped the land on a cosmic scale challenges everything we assume about ancient North America. The Serpent Mound connection? Though built later, some scholars believe the famous Serpent Mound in Ohio draws from Hopewell ideas. Its giant snake swallowing the sun during a solstice alignment mirrors Hopewell themes of death and rebirth. Were the Hopewell the originators of this mythic landscape tradition? The evidence suggests, probably yes. The missing villages. Here's another strange mystery. Despite their gigantic ceremonial complexes, archaeologists have found very few large Hopewell settlements. So where did the people actually live? Current theories suggest small, scattered hamlets along river valleys. Seasonal migration. Egalitarian social structures. No central capital. This makes the scale of their earthworks even more impressive. A civilization without cities building monuments larger than many ancient cities. It doesn't make sense. And that's why the Hopewell pull researchers deeper and deeper into the unknown. When the giant earthworks went silent, around the year 400 CE, something changes. Across the Midwest, Hopewell earthworks stop being built. Burial mounds become simpler. Long-distance trade networks collapse. Ceremonial centers are abandoned. And here is the most haunting part. The Hopewell do not disappear from history. They fade, slowly, quietly, leaving no signs of war, famine, or catastrophe. What really happened? There are 4 leading theories, each dramatic in its own way. Number 1. Climate change and ecological stress. Around this time, North America enters a period of environmental shift. Perhaps changing seasons disrupted. Crop cycles. Migration patterns. Trade routes. Communities may have shrunk or reorganized simply to survive. Number 2. Social transformation. Some archaeologists argue the Hopewell system was not sustainable. A culture built so heavily on ritual gatherings may have fractured as populations grew. Local leaders gained more influence. Communities stopped traveling long distances. This shift eventually ended the large ceremonial construction projects. Number 3. The rise of new cultural identities. The Hopewell didn't vanish, they evolved. Their descendants eventually became part of later indigenous cultures such as the Fort Ancient Peoples, the Mississippians, multiple modern tribes of the eastern woodlands. In this case, it wasn't a collapse. It was a transition. Number 4. A ceremonial system that reached its end. Another theory says the Hopewell ceremonial cycle had a natural lifespan. After centuries of astronomical tracking, mound building, and mass gatherings, maybe the final generation simply said, "It is finished." This idea is poetic and unsettling. Whatever the cause, by 500 CE, 1,000 years before Europeans arrived, the Hopewell ceremonial world was gone, its giant earthworks left behind like abandoned cathedrals with no written explanation. And for over a millennium, these structures sat silent, covered in grass, misunderstood by early settlers as forts or old Indian cemeteries, their true purpose unknown. The Hopewell's gift to the modern world. Today, the Hopewell legacy is finally being recognized. In 2023, several Hopewell ceremonial sites, including the Great Octagon, were added to the UNESCO World Heritage List, marking them among the most significant ancient monuments on Earth. Their contributions continue to shape archaeology, astronomy, and indigenous heritage. 1. Advanced geometry and astronomy without written math. Hopewell builders remind us that complex knowledge doesn't require textbooks. A patient culture observing the sky for generations can achieve astronomical mastery rivaling ancient Maya or classical Greek astronomers. 2. A monumental tradition without kings or empires. Hopewell society proves that you don't need a pharaoh, a Caesar, a centralized ruler to create world-class monuments. Cooperation, ritual, and shared belief can accomplish wonders. 3. Indigenous North America was never primitive. For centuries, textbooks downplayed native civilizations. The Hopewell showed just how advanced, organized, and visionary ancient North America truly was. 4. Their earthworks still speak. The Hopewell created architecture meant to be read by the sky. And today, with drone footage, satellite imaging, and modern astronomy, we can finally understand their genius in ways no previous generation could. The Hopewell were not kings, not conquerors, not builders of sprawling cities. They were something rarer. A civilization that measured time with the moon, shaped the land with geometry, and built monuments that whisper to the night sky. Their story is not one of sudden collapse, but a gentle fading, like the end of a long ceremony. Yet their legacy remains carved into the earth. Circles, squares, and cosmic pathways stretching across the American Midwest. A reminder that long before modern borders and modern nations, people here created wonders worthy of any ancient world. If you enjoyed this journey, smash that like button, tell me where you're watching from, and subscribe for more deep dives into lost civilizations and forgotten history. Because with every story we uncover, the past becomes a little less silent.